raised in the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy slough. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Hello, friends. How are y'all doing? Happy Monday, everybody. Hope y'all are all doing well. Survive the storms. Staying warm. Can't believe how crazy it is. I was wearing shorts yesterday and a tank top because it was so hot. And today I'm in sweatpants and a sweatshirt because it's cold out there. And we still have high winds. But I hope everybody's well. Hey, Brown Eyed Girls. Hi, DJ. Hi, TJ. Hi, Linda. Blue Eyes. How you doing? Hi, Dan. Let's see if anybody else sneaking in here with us. Hey, Jacqueline. Hey, Peggy. Good to see everybody. Lisa King, hello to you. Let's see here. Cheryl, how you doing? Good to see you. Wanna be sleuthing? Hey, hey. Let's see. Teresa, hello to you. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it so much. You know, it's really sad when we can do a stream for Sebastian and get all the numbers, but little Michael doesn't seem to pique anyone's interest, and it should. Every child should. Every missing person should be priority. It just blows my mind. But hey, it's all good. We're here. We're going to do our part. We're going to finish our conversation because today is Michael Monday. Monkey Monday. Sweet little boy. Out just being a little boy, and 3 grown adults, or 4 actually grown adults, took it upon themselves to cost him his life. It's just not good. It is very heartbreaking, Cheryl. Very heartbreaking. But it deserves to be told. His story deserves to be told. And we're leading up to the first trial with Stacy Wondra, and Michael deserves to have that attention on his case. He deserves to have his picture out there so that maybe somebody saw them digging a hole somewhere. Because this little boy has never been found. And it's so very sad. Oh, Vaughn High School, and the mascot is a monkey. Perfect. Oh, love that. Love that. But we're going to continue each Monday covering Michael Vaughn. I hope more people will join us because he deserves it. He has paid the ultimate sacrifice at the hands of 4 disgusting adults. And he deserves to be found and buried properly. His parents deserve it. Hey, Cecilia, good to see you. And speaking of his parents, there was something that was put out yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you. Missing PNW Case Files Revisited, I think is the name of the channel. This is something that was put out yesterday, and I'm just going to play this real quick so everybody can hear it. This is Brandy Vaughn, and this is her reaction. Listen to her.
You did nothing. You are guilty. That's it. He's going to face justice. They're all going to face justice. It's the last thing I do. But I wanted to make sure he felt me here. He feels Michael here. Every time he sees my face, I want him to see Michael. And I don't believe him 1 ounce at all that he was, oh, I didn't do nothing. Our hands fit. Give me a break. You're a habitual liar. You've lied this entire time. You were there. You did nothing.
You were there, Stacy Wondra, and you did nothing. Kudos to Brandy for speaking out. It's really sad other parents don't do the same for their child, but yeah, Peggy, she is an amazing mom. Teresa, she's an amazing mom. And Peggy, man, he does look like his mama. He really, really does. What a cutie pie he was. And he will forever be so small and cute. He didn't have the chance to grow up and experience life because these ugly, nasty people just took his life from him. Oh, you're good, Cecilia. If you need to go, we understand. Those storms are still raging through. And so I get it. Hey, Melissa. Last Monday, we went over the lab with Josh and his thoughts, and he talked about everything. And Brandy come up on his panel. We listened to just a little bit of it before we had to leave, and we're going to go back and re-listen to the very beginning of her coming up and talking. And you can hear her emotions. Yeah. All that were in that car at the time of the kidnapping should have to pay. They are all guilty. But he's, he wants to pretend like he's the innocent one out of all of them. No, not buying it. They all knew Michael was there. They knew Michael was in their car. He lied about that day, and we're going to go over it and listen to it in the next couple of weeks to come, because Stacey Wondra has done several interviews with different people, and then he's done an interview there in the jail. And we're going to listen to it. He tells this story. And of course, all of it tries to paint him as this innocent person. Nope, not buying it at all, buddy. You were driving the car. You were driving it. And at no time is that okay. And then they bring him back to their house. Search starts happening. People everywhere. They got nervous. They take off the next day with Michael in a bag, a duffel bag, duct taped his mouth and nose, duct taped his arms and his feet, and drove him to another little small town where they buried him. Hey, Diana, good to see you. And so they all deserve to be hung. That's it. That's my feelings. And, I'm just over people that are so ugly and so gross and so disgusting and so hateful. I'm over it. We talk about Sebastian's case all the time, and I'm so over Katie and Chris and all their lies and all the smugness. I'm tired of it because it's innocent children that have paid the ultimate price because of these people. And it's gross. But I'm not feeling real great today. My body is hurting super bad. Of course, I would love to blame it on the weather, but sadly, it's my kidneys that are just raging today. And we're going to just go ahead and listen to Brandy's interview. An innocent mother speaking out for her child. What a refreshing thing to listen to. Because we don't hear that much. But at the same time, it's so super sad that she even has to speak out about all this. Because people decided and made a choice pertaining her son. So here we go. Let's get over here to Josh. Get that pulled up. I'm going to put the banner up for us.
That I know really how to help us to use my platform to get to get Michael's face and name and information out there. And
hold on, before we get going too much and Brandy starts talking, let me make sure I get this banner up. Josh at the lab, his description and the link to this video is all in that description for this video today. So if you haven't subbed up to him, I would greatly encourage it. Look at Cecilia coming and gifting a membership. That is amazing. Thank you, Cecilia, so much. And to our lucky new member, welcome to the
Welcome. Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got love to go around. So can I get a payment in? Welcome to the South.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. That was so sweet and kind of you. I appreciate it. And welcome to our new member. So exciting. So let me see if I can get this. We got the banner across the bottom. We're going to use fair use on this because we want to learn all the things. We want to hear this mother speak and tell her story. We want to hear her words as an innocent mother who desperately wants to find her child talks. What a refreshing thing.
you know, he says every kid is cute, but he's just a good looking little man. And was he into sports or anything? Yeah, he absolutely is. Was he into sports?
He likes football. He likes soccer. We have a game. It's called Kick or Catch. And playing with the football. I like a certain type of football. Tyler Wayne got Monkey a different type of football because we're both different with how footballs are, I guess, in our but it's kick or catch. And we toss and he catch or kick. He's got a leg on him, that's for damn sure. He really does.
Notice how his mother just at this time didn't know all the details and talks about her child in present tense. Nice and refreshing, isn't it? My goodness. We just don't hear that much. Hey, Ryan, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Cool Gamer. Alrighty, so let's get into this a little more.
Yes.
Well, see, that's where he can mix in the football and soccer. He could be a field goal kicker.
Oh, he is so good with he can stop the ball, like when we're playing soccer. He can stop the ball and go around, and it's amazing. Like, yeah, you
know, the field goal kickers are often they get paid a decent amount of money, and they don't have to take the punishment of all the other football players.
right?
He can even play both. That way, Mom, when you show up to watch him play, you don't have to worry. I remember my grandma was just like, "No, you're not playing football. Football is too dangerous." And oh, wow. But I bet if I would have been a kicker, and by the way, I can't kick. I'm right-handed, left-footed. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Got it.
I would have been a kicker, but I just, Grandma ruined my chances of being a professional kicker.
Hi, Michelle.
And so we go through this investigation's ongoing. It's fluid. You're constantly in contact with law enforcement, and I hope, like, I'll ask you a question. I just hope you don't take any offense to anything when I ask. Did they offer you guys a polygraph?
Yes.
Okay. And then, you know, in another case that has been very, you know, talked about here on YouTube, the parents of this other little girl, Summer Wells, they haven't been cleared. What does law enforcement say about you guys?
That we have cooperated 100% fully. Every avenue that they've asked for, it's been open doors, open everything. There's nothing. All of our devices have been cloned. Everything, even our kids.
Yeah.
Even my ex-husband.
Sure.
Fully cooperative here. Here is yes. Like
That's, you know, obviously that speaks
help
volumes.
us.
Sure. And I see you stand up there with the police during the press conferences, and that is very important. And I can't imagine how difficult that truly is. And you do so well composing. I know it's hard. I see you breathing deep when it's, but it is so important. And Michael needs you to do that, you know, because
I'm really bad about breathing. I don't breathe. I hold my breath a lot, and is
that something that started because of this, or did you have that also in the past and it maybe became a little worse?
No,
your stress level is unmatched. I mean, there's just nothing you can there's nothing that anybody can say to you and tell you that it's not going to make you feel better until your son comes home. So
exactly.
did you have those kind of problems before, like where it was just an anxiousness, or no?
No.
Yeah. Right. And so, you know, that's a completely normal thing, you know, you're just trying to cope. And as people of my show know, like I can relate to certain aspects. I've never had a kid go missing, but I've had to deal with coping in my life.
You know, I want to pause right here and just say, we just saw Brandy speak out just very recently, like within the past week. We watched that little clip where she said, "You will all pay if it's the last thing I do." To look at her now, after having a liver transplant and what all the medications and all the things, and how different she looks here. This is a very strong woman. She has been through hell. She has been on the verge of death. And she is still, throughout that whole entire time, still the voice of Michael Monkey Vaughn. What a great mother. And I'm going to let you all know for sure, with 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, you will never hear her tell all the negative things about Michael. Not in a way of making fun of him. That's for sure. Because that's what innocent parents do.
My life as well with certain things. You know, I lost my mother at a young age due to a violent act. And so I was just a little boy when that happened. So I grew up, and talk about, you get like these weird little tics, or these, you know, when you feel like you're losing your breath and you're trying to catch it, and then it can turn into like a panic attack or whatever, you know, there's just a lot of emotion just going through you. And you're still currently working.
Yes.
I mean, it's just tough.
I'm not working much, honestly.
Sure.
Tyler is working full time. We were out of work for almost 3 months. It was about 2.5 months. I'm working part time. He's working full time. we have 4 children. Driver's ed, color guard, you name it, everything and anything, just trying to.
Can you tell me a little bit about the difficulty? Because I mean, your life doesn't stop. Like you just said, you have other children in the home. Your husband works, you work, and you take care of the children. How difficult? I mean, there's just got to be some days where you just, are at your wit's end. I can imagine. You're such a strong person for even being able to pick yourself out of bed in the morning, and I applaud you for that, because I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that.
There are days I don't want to. I don't, and I have literally spent the past week in pure tears, especially the past 3 days. Yesterday made 200 days. 200 fucking days. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry for anything. You don't have to be sorry for that.
She's mad. She's angry.
And I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing enough, or I'm trying to be present.
Well, we asked that question, and from everything that I know about this case, you're doing the absolute max that you can do. I mean, what more can you do? You're still pleading for your son. You're working, taking care of your kids at the same time. You show up to the press conferences. You put up flyers. It may feel as though you yourself may feel like, I wish there was more that I could do, and that's going to be a normal feeling for you. But from all outside appearances, I think that you are doing exactly what you need to do, exactly what needs to be done. And hopefully this case will end soon with Michael coming home. And that is what's most important, is that we just keep getting his name out there, following the updates, putting his face out there. This community, I'm telling you, this community is amazing, and they are some of the most helpful, to where, putting his name out there is everything. And you know that, because that's what you've pleaded for, coverage. You beg for it,
That's what we need. That's what we're asking. Like, please, just everyone see Michael's beautiful face. That's what we need. That's what he needs.
Do you feel like this case got kind of maybe pushed on to the side in the eyes of maybe media and things like that? Is that something
I do, because there is speculation and drama. That's our son, our baby is missing, and there has been a criminal investigation done, and because we're
I understand.
every missing child deserves attention, but this is my baby. He's our son. He's my baby, and so no, I don't feel like he has gotten the attention he deserves. And there are a lot of people helping and trying, and I thank everyone that's doing that and continues and is helping now.
You know, I actually agree with you that I don't feel like this case has gotten the attention that it has deserved either.
Sadly, Michael Vaughn's case got some attention, but not like Summer Wells did. People felt that Michael Vaughn, and this was just talk around at the time that I heard, but they felt like Summer didn't have parents advocating for her. Michael did. Didn't make it any better. And I was one of those that I just didn't jump on to his case a lot. I followed it, but I didn't live stream about it. I was just starting out. And at that time, I was doing good just to hang on to one topic. Kiki, hey girl. She said, I didn't know about it until later on. Yeah. And it's so sad. So sad. Because 1 month after Summer Michael goes missing, Michael deserved as much attention as Summer Wells got. Just as much. But sadly, he did not. Thank you to everybody that's coming in. I appreciate y'all being here. My heart hurts for her as a mother. It always has. There was a time where they're like, oh, well, the dad was there, Tyler was there. He was supposedly doing a diaper change and ordering pizza. And even though the pizza receipt showed the exact time that he said he called about that time, it was not enough for some people. They wanted to create something out of nothing. And it just was very confusing to me. What are we supposed to believe? What are we not supposed to believe here? But it always came down to one deciding factor for me. His mother. His mother never, ever, ever stopped. And when she found out she had to have a liver transplant because her liver was failing her. Sick, sick, sick woman. She would do a video and post it out saying, please tell me where my baby is so he can be buried with me. That's a mother who loves her child, a mother who out of the blue finds out we can't find him for real. Thank you, Kiki, so much for that. I really appreciate it. Justice for Monkey for sure. For sure. He deserves it. He needs to be properly put to rest. And it breaks my heart that these grown people will not tell them where he is. They will not reveal the location of where they put that duffel bag in the ground and covered it up. That is pure evil. These people are pure evil. And yet this mother holds herself together to speak. She gets angry from time to time, but she's always, always her son's best advocate, unlike quite a few others out there with missing children.
And that's from somebody in the I say true crime community. I do a lot of different shows about a lot of different things, not necessarily just missing children or missing people, or we talk about a whole different slew of stuff. So the true crime community itself, this should be picked up on. And I have seen you on a couple others that have done this, and that's fantastic. But,
Diana, you are so right here. Guys, I forgot to tell y'all they injected him with insulin as well. Duct taped, put in the duffel bag, clothes on top, but they had him injected with insulin. I guess they thought that would just keep him quiet for a while. Sick people, they should be duct taped, stuffed into a duffel bag, clothes put on top of them, and be injected with insulin themselves. That's how I feel about it.
We just got to get it out there, and it's gonna make a difference. I feel as though, and if we can do it in a respectful way, where it's just about finding your son, there's no stopping us. I really think that, and I apologize personally too, as somebody who runs a channel on you. I should have picked up on this case a long time ago, and I apologize for that. Can you tell me about the Amber Alert situation?
So there is a criteria. There are 6 suggested, that word. They're not mandatory. What are they called? Stipulations?
Yeah, basically, they call them certain criteria that has to. Are they saying that is it because of a vehicle that or what? I mean, what is it that doesn't meet their criteria?
Didn't.
Yeah, it didn't meet their criteria. Excuse me.
Sorry.
No.
I'm still learning all of this and figuring all of it out about the Amber Alert, but in Idaho, there are the 6 suggested criteria. Under 17 years of age, believed to be in imminent danger or death, known abductor or vehicle, has to be entered into the NCIC. And the last one has to, they have to be able to give like a physical description and what he was wearing, everything. So basically, Michael did not meet the known vehicle or abductor.
Yeah, how would they know that though? Like, how would they know that he wasn't put into a vehicle or,
They had no physical evidence. They had no witness on that at that time.
Yeah, it sounds like each state is different, but
this is something that Blue Eyes had been working so hard on trying to get pushed into Congress. that when a child under the age of 18 is missing, no matter what, there should be alerts put out. No matter what. What's it going to hurt if someone ran away and they get found within the week? It means that alert probably helped. But when you have these children that are taken by grown adults, hidden away, and just because one of those criterias aren't met, you can't get that alert out there. It's so sick and so sad. It's also something that she was trying to work on to get pushed out there, that these small town law enforcement agencies need to be pushed aside, and the FBI needs to come and look. Our children are going missing daily. And these local counties and all the things are not equipped for what it takes to find a child. Look at Miss Nancy Guthrie. She's 84 years old, taken from her home in the middle of the night. That law enforcement, that county, that sheriff had a team go in and spend 2 hours in her house. When they left, they took down all the crime scene tape. It wasn't later until the FBI steps in and they go back and retrieve all kinds of evidence from her home. Because that law enforcement agency that is local was not trained and equipped for that type of case. And that happened on January 31st. And here we are, March 16th, and absolutely no closer to finding out where she is or who did this to her than they were on day one. Inadequate is what it is. And because of the inadequacy of these small towns, even the larger towns, they're too busy with other things to concentrate on one child. There should be a special task force that steps in and takes over. They should be able to do that. That's the whole big question. Want to be sleuthing? Why? I honestly believe these people would do anything to make a buck. And I think they were going to try to sell him. And Michael's case became too public. So they had to get rid of him. They were closing in on their area and their residents. Oh, yeah, Diana. Just like, the sheriff in Sebastian Rogers' case. Just like it. They were not equipped. I'm telling you, if there was a law out there somewhere that a certain special task force was to step in, take control, do all the things that need to be done, and stay on top of a case, make sure it's done correctly. Friends, I believe these children will be found. They'll be found earlier rather than years and years and years and years later. These people will be caught sooner. And of course, Blue wanted to do this and honor Sebastian because of his disappearance, and was told no, his father was going to do that. Almost 2 years later, it still hasn't been done, but okay. But don't think we're not going to stop on this, because it needs to be all across the board. Every state in the United States of America needs to do the same. It needs attention. There are Amber Alerts going out like crazy. There are kids going missing without Amber Alerts ever being put out there. Look at the one we talked about yesterday. Sarah was last seen being carried out of a home by her hands and her feet, put into a man's car, and hasn't been seen since. But that man is walking free. That should never make any sense. Never, ever should any of that be allowed. Of course, we always go back to Sebastian's case. And as I've stated before, and I'll state it again every time I speak, conveniently, Sebastian went missing prior to being on a video call with the judge to testify against his stepfather for abuse. Convenient, isn't it? But yet they're still out there living their best life. And guys, when I say I believe in law enforcement and I trust them, they're doing what they can. Yes. But sometimes when it comes to these missing kids, their best is not quite good enough. And never should they have to wait for that small county or city to invite them in to come and take over the case. We're just going to sit on this in case something happens, and that way we get all the credit. That's basically what that says to me. Brandy Vaughn was very fortunate because the sheriff spoke up and said, if you are the one that took Michael Vaughn and think it's okay to take one of our children away, you are wrong. We will find you. They were very, very determined. And it has been years later, but they have finally gotten to the point where it's time for Michael Monkey Vaughn to have his justice. And it has been a while. And as sick as his mother was, she still did not just stop talking and only speaking out one time a year, like Sebastian's mother. She never hired a lawyer and pled the fifth. She's her child's number one fan. She was the love of his life because he hadn't grown up big enough to find another love like the love of a mother. And she was going to make sure those people come to justice. And she's finally starting to see that process happen. It should not take this long. And there should be something sent to Congress so that there are changes made for our children. All of the children that go missing, any missing person should be treated the same. Let's finish listening. And hello to everybody coming in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all.
You know, it's another one of those laws that
Can I say
probably needs
horseshit?
some help. Sure, you can say whatever you want.
I think that's bullshit.
Of course. I look, because that goes out on it's a national data, national database, and it's put out for miles and miles and miles. And from what I read from the story is that he was reported missing around 6:30, but nothing was put out for a couple hours. No?
So no, Michael was reported missing after 7 p.m.
Okay.
And then there were 4 missing endangered persons reports that went out, and they go out via text message, email, landline, cell phone, but it's not an Amber Alert. You have to be signed up for this. And that one, the first one went out at 8:20 p.m.
Right.
And the lead detective was trying to get an Amber Alert for Michael.
And it was denied.
Yeah.
And right here, there's
He didn't,
comment.
apparently because he didn't meet every single one of those.
Right.
And, here's this comment on the screen that says, the fact he's 5 years old should be enough for an Amber Alert. And it should. Every state should be enough.
Right.
Suggested criteria.
That is something that it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
It needs to be fixed in a major way. And the comment here says the fact that he's 5 years old should be enough for an Amber Alert, and I agree with you 110% on that.
Yes, ma'am. He's 5 years old.
Yeah. If a kid goes, like, this is how I view it. If a child goes missing, they're in imminent danger no matter what.
Right.
It doesn't matter. They're a child. They can't take care of themselves. So they go missing. Obviously, it's a serious situation. Could it be resolved quickly? Sure, it can, but that doesn't always happen. And I understand, you can't, like, you cannot do it right away because he could have went here, he could have went there, da 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 da. But after 30 minutes or so, you're going, okay, man, we're not finding anything. We got to expand this thing. And these are laws that need to be looked at, and laws that need to be
an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, you had the entire town, and like it literally looked like traffic in LA because of all of the cars and the people and just everywhere. Honestly, why?
Right.
So with EMTs and law enforcement,
Take a look just right here at these last 2 turns of the midline step. So you get a little tight up knees, not
excuse me.
Oh, take your time. Take your time, Liz.
There's so many people, and he knows his name. Michael knows his name. Monkey. He knows. And
so if people were yelling for him, he would have came. Yeah, where you are it's a residential, right? I mean, there's neighbors and stuff like that.
Residential, rural. So
there's like 5,000 people in the town. It's not a very big town, right?
Yeah.
But it's not that far from Boise either.
It's about 50 miles, 55 miles.
Well, Boise's a major city,
Right.
and so we have other cases that we talk about where abduction seems very unlikely in these situations that the parents claim abduction. And the law enforcement in your town said the fact that there was nothing points towards the abduction theory. Now, I'm not talking about the conversation you have had. I'm talking about what's put out there in the public.
Right.
And for him, how long do you think it was before your husband had last contact with Michael and to when he went missing?
15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes max.
Okay. And so between 15, 20 minutes, he's like, okay, I haven't seen Michael. He's possibly wandered off. I can't find him. And that's when the yelling and the, hey, starts. The police are on the phone. How long did it take police? How long did it take them to get there?
Less than a minute, I want to say. 2 minutes. I mean, they're about a block and a half away from us, honestly.
Small town. You would think that if he had wandered off, he would have found him very easily.
Very quickly.
Right. So the abduction theory isn't so much a theory as, look,
Probability.
somebody moved this boy. The kids don't move that fast, like especially when they get out and they're just not even. I think it's
he thinks he's the Flash, but like I said, he was in flip-flops and he had only been wearing them for 3 days. I just gotten them for him. He was just learning how to walk in flip-flops, and little kids don't walk in flip-flops. They scoot.
Here's a prime example. All the people she's talking about that showed up to search for her child instantly. All the police, all the neighbors, she said it looked like a big city just in her neighborhood with all the cars there and the people out searching and walking around and calling his name. He's a very small 5-year-old little boy. Sure, they can take off running if he wanted to. But he would have heard them. It was getting dark. He would have started to make that attempt to try to figure out, how am I supposed to get back home? Where am I at? That kind of thing. He would have heard people. He would have went back to their voices. But after all those weeks of searching, nothing at all. A scent went so far and stopped. We now know that all that searching would have done absolutely no good because he was picked up in a vehicle and taken away. Therefore, the dog was 100% correct on his tracking Michael's scent. It went so far and stopped in the middle of the road. We have Sebastian over here that we talk about all the time, and all the people out searching and all the acreage that was searched. And not a sign at all of anything pertaining to Sebastian. That tells you right there, he wasn't walking. Just like little Michael, he only walked so far. His scent stopped. That's because we now know they put him in a car. His feet never touched the ground again. And we're supposed to believe Sebastian walked out of his house and ran away? No, that dog would have had that scent. He was taken somewhere, just like Michael Vaughn.
So
You know, somebody said that praying for you, Brandy, Michael. Please check Facebook. I've been trying. I'm sure you get a lot of messages and support.
I appreciate everyone. Right now I'm trying to take care of my family and just.
And that's exactly what you're doing. And I
Freaking-
appreciate you even taking the time to come on here and talk about your son, because it's just a tragic thing that these things go on, that you can't even let your kids wander outside a little bit, without the fear of that happening, the fear of them going missing. And I know, I see the desperation in you, and I can feel it just through the screen. And it's, I mean, what are you going to do? It's authentic. It's raw. It's not even this many months later. It only gets worse by the day. I'm guessing you just feel desperate, and that's why we're trying to help. And I thank you so much for coming up here. And I know talking about this stuff is upsetting. It just is.
It's hard, but I don't care how hard it is. Monkey's coming home. We need our baby, and he needs us. I know he's missing us. I know, I can feel it in my heart, and I know. So I need help. So as hard as it is,
we can definitely help get this out there. And I'm going to pass this along to some of my other friends here on YouTube. And maybe, we can have put this in the forefront, because it sounds like you guys are working on some, there are things that law enforcement want to know. They want I believe it's the identity of a car in the neighborhood. Is that still a thing? I can't believe it was the white vehicle. I can't remember.
the white Honda Pilot.
Yeah. Is that something that's still in play?
I believe they may have established that.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna say too much, but
No problem. But there are advances, right? I mean, there are things happening, and that's huge.
Yes.
And so if there's somebody out there that's watching this and it sparks free, or go, that didn't look right, or I'm in this area just this far from where this child went missing, that could make all the difference in the world. And so that's why we do these things. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming on, and hopefully we can talk again. And I hope you felt respected and by everybody, and
I haven't seen
you.
anything, so, but I thank you, Josh, and thank you for having me, and thank you for talking about Michael and bringing awareness to Monkey. And our number one goal is to bring our baby home. That's it. So I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
It's my pleasure. And anytime, you need to come on, share information that you want to share, or, just update on the case. And you know what, hopefully tomorrow we don't have to talk about this anymore. Maybe just very soon in the future, we won't even have to have this conversation. And then,
we're going to all be celebrating.
Chuck E. Cheese. I'll be there.
Oh.
You guys not have a Chuck E. Cheese?
We do in Merid, like farther away. Yeah.
I'm
45 minutes.
I'm not allowed at Chuck E. Cheese anymore. When I was 12, I climbed up on the dinosaur that they had in there. And it had like this big net on it. I was being a monkey, climbing the thing as well. And But that's here in my hometown, so I don't know if I'm banned from all.
Monkey doesn't like the mouse. When
Yes.
the band on the stage, he's mm-mm.
Yeah.
But the last time we went to Chuck E. Cheese, he got himself one of those cool airplanes that you put together, the styrofoam ones.
Yeah.
He won tickets. It was I can't remember which game it was, but yeah.
Can you imagine, like, why? First of all, the mouse is completely hideous.
Okay. Look at her face. She's talking about her baby. She's talking about things that he's done, the joy, the love. It's all over her face. She doesn't do all these dramatic moves and gestures to make people think, oh, it was so fun that day. No. She's just telling about her child. And the love is just exploding from her. Quite the difference. Quite the difference for sure. Oh, yeah, Teresa, you can tell. It's so obvious. And it's so nice to see because so many that we cover, they could really care less. They just are trying to cover their own ass.
Hideous, and it's huge.
Yeah.
What makes mice cute is like they're kind of just little, and like rats are gross,
Teresa, it was 4 years ago. This was in the very beginning of Michael's case. He had been missing for a little while, and it says here it was streamed 4 years ago. This was in the very, very beginning. No, we don't, do we, Diana?
Little mice. But I think it's because of the cheese that rats or mice like cheese. So,
No,
but it just it all seems weird,
He thinks it's really funny to scare mommy with fake mice. Fake, because mommy doesn't. I'll do snakes. I'll do, I can turn a wrench like no other. But I'll tell you what. When it comes to no hamsters, no gerbils, no rats, mice,
No
I'm gone.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I'm not a huge rodent guy myself, or reptile. I actually just
I like
despise them.
reptiles.
Oh, do you like snakes and stuff?
Yes, sir.
They scare me because,
Really?
yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole how like kind of creepy and crawly they are, and they kind of like I like dogs,
I like dogs.
Yeah, but snakes and stuff, they seem like they're after you all the time. It's just they got their eyes on you. And
oh no, ferrets. I swear to God, they are the ones to get you, not snakes.
You've handled a ferret before?
Kind of, and I ran away.
Yeah, right. I would have too. Raccoons. You guys have raccoons around?
Yes, and I want one. We all want one as a pet. Well, Monkey, and Ben want one as a pet, but
I think in Texas you can have them as pets. I don't, but most places kind of discourage it. We have raccoons because I live up in the Pacific Northwest, and the heavy redwoods and stuff. And so we have wildlife, and raccoons run through our neighborhood because we have kind of a green belt not far. And when these things fight, they get in fights in the middle of the road at night, you can hear them. They sound literally like jaguars when they're fighting.
Yes,
it's a terrifying sound. But they are cute. Like when they wash their food. Have you seen them take the food and then rinse it in the bowl?
Yeah.
It's the best.
So I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I know all about raccoons. And we had lots and lots of them.
Yeah, they're invasive little turds, but they're cute.
They're cute.
But we have skunks too. And actually, the other day, a skunk kicked the screen down, like for the crawl space in my house, and it got under there and it sprayed. And it was a bad day and a half, maybe 2 days.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
it was terrible. But
Oh,
the
my
thing is, I can actually sleep still because it's happened so many times that my dogs get sprayed. I've been
Okay, guys. They're going to just talk about that a little bit more. And so we're going to stop it here. It's good to see Brandy smiling. Good to be thinking about some things. And it's true and it's genuine. And you can truly see how much she loves her son. She doesn't have to pretend. She doesn't have to adapt her stories to make everybody believe what she says is the truth. She's just her, a mother looking for her child. And thanks to Josh with the lab for having Brandy on so that we could hear her, we could see her, we could get to know who she is as a mother. And, it's real love, not theatrics. That's it, Michelle. That's it, 100%. Like I said, we are going to continue to do Michael Mondays until the trial begins. And hopefully we will be able to cover that during the daytime as it's happening. I would love to be front row for that. My goodness, I would love it. But let's just pray that it does get televised and we will be able to watch it, because I want to see these sick individuals as they squirm in their chair, knowing the rest of their life is over with because they made the choice to steal a child that they had no right to. Yes, Michelle, Stacy Wondra is one of the 4 adults that was participating in Michael Vaughn's disappearance and unaliving. And so they already have him in jail. They did a preliminary hearing. It will go to a jury. It will proceed and move forward. And we are going to listen to Stacy Wondra next Monday. We're going to go over some more stuff next Monday. We're going to listen to his voice as he tells this story of what happened. We're going to see him. He's gross. Gross. But it's important to hear. They have indictments for all of them, I believe. They have warrants out for all of the other ones. And so they will proceed. Each one will be tried individually from what I'm understanding. And Stacy Wonders first. And you heard in the very beginning where Michael's mom says, I will get each and every one of you if it's the last thing I do. Yeah, I agree, Diana. They had 2 of them already in custody and they let them out. And I don't understand that process, but there had to be something to it. I don't know. But I will say this. I think Stacy Wondra is going to be the weakest link out of all of them. I don't think he realizes exactly how ridiculous he sounds at times. Yeah, wannabe sleuth. And I actually think Sarah Wondra was the one coming up with this whole concoction. Let's steal a child. Let's sell him and make some money. People will buy children. What kind of friends do they have to think things like that? It's just gross. They were going to go wash clothes or get a vehicle or do something. I don't know what all they were going to do. But they were going to another town, saw Michael walking, and 4 grown adults felt the need to pick him up and put him in their car. That's how disgusting these people are. The world has no use for people like that. And I honestly believe 100% in my heart that there's others out there who are parents of missing children who don't deserve to be free. I know, right? Want to be sleuthing? I don't even know people who would buy a child. That's just gross. If someone approaches you and says, "Would you like to buy a child?" Hello? Let me spend some time with this child first. Okay? I'll play a game with them. Let me take him out to McDonald's and bring him back and let you know. And instead of going to McDonald's, we're going to a law enforcement. And then names will be given out. Addresses will be given out. All the things would happen. Oh, it is so, so gross. And the worst part of all was they had a picture of Michael Vaughn. Sarah Wondra put a picture on her refrigerator of this little boy. And when law enforcement went into their home to search, his picture was on their refrigerator. Not the flyer, but a picture. If I'm remembering that correctly. A picture. To remind them of what they did to that little boy. Ugh. That's just gross. Who does that? Even Katie and her husband can't share pictures of Sebastian at an older age at the time he went missing. All of their pictures are from him when he was younger, when things were a lot easier in their life, it seems. Don't want to be reminded of those bad times. But it is what it is, and that's how it plays out. And sadly, we come on here and have to talk about that. We have to expose that for what it is, and that is disgusting, evil people. Horrible, evil people in this world. We're seeing it every day here on YouTube. There are more people that would rather go and discuss the fact that there was a man's robe on a baby registry that was putting out on YouTube for people if they wanted to purchase something. That's how bad people are. They would rather go listen to that kind of drama and that hatefulness and that evilness than to discuss people who need help to find their child. That's the hate and the evilness that's surrounding us, even here on YouTube. And you can imagine if there's this much hate out there on YouTube, think of what the entire world is like. The entire world. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Diana. That is so sweet. Yes, but Ellie does hate YouTubers covering these cases. And the reason I honestly believe is that the drama that comes along with it and all the hate. If I put out an opinion I have on a case, people feel the need to destroy me because I had a thought process. That's exactly what happened when I brought out the man that looked very closely to the yellow coat guy and the affiliation he had with these schools for special need kids. Is that a possibility? Very much could be. None of us know. And yet there were people who didn't think that's what happened. So let's trash her all day, every day for a long time. Really? Just because there was some research that was done, people that were talked to, people that shared their ongoing experience of a grandchild that was going through that process himself. Oh, but that's made up, right? Don't worry. Seth has received an email stating how very true that story was. And that was the reason for me looking into all of it. But if we don't think outside the box, we will be stuck, friends. We will be stuck saying everything one way when we don't know. We don't know what happened to Sebastian. We only know now what happened to little Michael Vaughn because Stacy Wondra himself had a phone conversation and his mother asked him what happened. And he told his mother. That's recorded. It's been put out there. We now know that. In the beginning, people were more concerned with the drama side and the hate side of these cases. That's the reason I pulled off from Summer Wells' case, because it became about, do you believe Fred Hill or do you believe Andy Bernard? Well, friends, I believe Summer's somewhere. And that's what we need to concentrate on. If you don't believe Fred Hill, don't believe him, but don't hate people who do. If you don't believe Christopher Proudfoot and think he's a complete asinine idiot, that's your opinion and you're right. But people don't need to hate you for it. I don't hate the people that believe every word Katie and Chris says. I don't hate the people that put them on their panel and have a good time and a good laugh over the fact that he says Sebastian likes to defecate his pants. My opinion is it's probably him doing that and he's putting it on Sebastian, kind of thing. But that's because I don't believe him. You know what I'm saying? These are stories about the person who is missing. And if we put out something that might be outside the box in way of thinking, it shouldn't matter to other people. They don't like that way of thinking, they shouldn't watch. But sadly, there's more hate in this true crime element over here of YouTube. than there are thinking outside the box themselves. I don't want to be cornered in. I don't want to be tied down. I don't want to have a certain way of thinking only. Do you think law enforcement says, oh, I believe this person, so I'm only looking right here on this lane? No, they don't. And thank God for the Fruitland Police Department. They're in Fruitland, Idaho. They didn't stop looking at all angles and all the people and pulling videos and CCTV footage because they went outside that box and searched and looked and dug into all aspects. And now they're ready to go to trial because of it. I came on YouTube to do one thing, and that's to be helpful. I didn't come on here for people to talk about me and say, oh, well, she's sleeping with a father that has a missing child. She's grifting and making money off of her dead son. Those are people that are not worth my time. Don't listen to her. She's got it all wrong. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Well, maybe my informant, my person that I can ask, has a little more information than yours does. Maybe I'm way off base, but at least I'm trying to think of all the different ways that we can help. And like I said, I spent last night sitting in a chat modding and deleting the most disgusting, vile comments about an unborn baby and its mother. And it all started because she put out a registry, a baby registry, because her mods, her subscribers, all the people in her chat were asking for that. What do you need? We want to buy stuff. And she put a robe for the dad on there because they will be the ones staying in the hospital. And he didn't have a robe. If you don't like the fact that they put a robe on there for the father, don't buy it. It's that simple. But no, it turned into the biggest hate fest I've ever seen yet on YouTube. People, that's about an unborn baby. And adults were acting like idiots. We're here talking about Michael Vaughn. He deserves to have his story told over and over and over again until all 4 people are locked behind bars. And because of the hateful things people have said about me, our numbers are down. It doesn't hurt my heart that my numbers are down. It breaks my heart because that means there's less people to hear about Michael Vaughn. There are a lot less people here to hear Brandy speak out today and be reminded of what she said 4 years ago. All because of the hate that people had for something I thought about or said or might have talked about or put out something different than all the other opinions. I'm telling you, folks, if you can't stretch and try to see things in a different light, in a different way, we're just going to be stuck here doing no good whatsoever. But if we put out different thoughts and opinions and work together as a group, these children would get so much exposure and it would be good. But sadly, law enforcement doesn't want that anymore from us. There are people that have missing loved ones, and I've reached out to them and asked them if they would like to come on and talk about their missing loved one, and been told, no, I don't want all the drama that comes with YouTube. That's how sad it is. This is a huge platform where so many people can get attention they need for their loved one. But by golly, you go outside the box of what people think you should be talking about. All it does is hurt the person that's missing. Michael Vaughn, he deserves more. He was 5 years old when he went missing in 2021. There are people who need the help. There are people that need the exposure. Yesterday, we talked about Sarah Eberson in her case. It is so obvious. The last person that had her in his car knows something. Oh, I know, want to be sleuthing. The trauma thing. Drama should never be mixed into true crime. Never, ever should it be mixed. And sadly, that's what's happening every day here. Every day on these streets. And it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Being done by grown-ups, grown people. People who have children themselves. People who have grandchildren. And they play the game. And yet there's people like Sarah who's been missing for 3 years and never had her justice because they just chalked her off as a party girl. But her family, her sister won't stop. Her sister's not stopping to this day. Brandy Vaughn is not going to stop until all 4 people are locked up in jail. You don't hear of Summer Wells' parents doing that. They want to just move on with life. Her father has been known to tear down the flyers there in their neighborhood, out there in the holler. Katie and Chris have a little yard sign, one of the smallest ones you can get in their yard. They're too busy going on vacations, biker rallies, all those things. Maddie Soto, her mother's too busy mourning over the man that she thought was her boyfriend, while her daughter is no longer alive because of the man who had been sleeping with her when mom had a headache all those years. I know, right? Want to be sleuthing? Said, I think my Barbie size sign is bigger than their yard sign. Exactly. You know, it's just crazy. Guys, my son went to Iraq. I had the biggest bow made and tied with a ribbon around the tree in the front of our yard. It stayed there until the day he came home. He walked out there and took it off himself. You don't see green bows tied around Katie and Chris's stuff. No, don't want to stand out. Don't want people looking at our house. Brandy walks around with t-shirts on of Michael She's dyed her hair blue. And when people ask her, she tells them about him. Kyron Harmon's mother still has people stand out on the sides of the main road wearing t-shirts with his picture, signs with his name, all the things after all of these years. All of these people deserve to be found. They deserve to have their story told correctly. They deserve that. And that's what we're going to continue to push and continue to do. And if it's just a small group of us here, so be it. That's a few more than there was yesterday knowing about it. And if these creators out there think they're harming anything when it comes to me and my channel, go on with your life. Move on. We're not stopping because we believe in these missing people. We believe it. And we're not going to stop. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate y'all so, so much. I will be back on tomorrow. We'll cover some more stuff. I'm still looking, trying to get some more answers in Sarah's case, but we need to continue to cover her case. I have reached out to her family member. I didn't feel so great today, so I didn't reach out to the sheriff's department yet, but I will do that here pretty soon. And we'll see what else we can find out about her. Next Monday will be another Michael Vaughn Day. And the week leading up to his trial, we're going to cover him more that week. Continue to play all the things we can find pertaining to him, containing to these people who made the choice to take his life. And so I hope you'll all come back and join me tomorrow. I appreciate y'all being here, each and every one of you. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I am just so proud to have y'all all here with me. I love you guys. Y'all stay warm, stay safe from all of these storms out there. And as always, until tomorrow, love and hugs, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.